there is no evidence that we ever said there was any more. They had counsel at that time, Mr. Riley. He may not have been patent counsel yet, but I don't think you have to be patent counsel to know that after an invention has been in commercial use for a year, you cannot apply for protection in America. And I think that if they were really as seriously concerned about patent protection, so that it was the inducing cause not only of the first contract, but the second one, in which the alleged patent protection was substantially reduced from the prior statements, they could have investigated it further. And when they discovered that it wasn't there, which allegedly was very shortly after they signed the agreement, they didn't mention it to us because, I submit, it really didn't matter to them, and to the contrary, it was at this time that Mr. Hall said, we realized we were having problems. We were going to start our own line and make our own material, and it just was perfect for them that they verified they could go ahead. Far from being a problem for them, it was a joy because they were then able to go and make a competing line without fear of infringing our patents. I don't see that they got less than they bargained for because the contract terminated without anyone being ruined. I don't think that what we did with anything on the record could be construed as fraud, inducing fraud, deceit, or anything like that. But I do believe that from the time of the Rusty Cable incident forward, the record clearly establishes a pattern of secret plans to set up a competing company and to keep going with the Aza distribution line in the meanwhile, and while under their duty of loyalty to Aza, to take all the steps necessary so that there shouldn't be the economic risk that one normally has when one launches a new business. Instead, all that risk was thrown on Aza because it kept supplying the goods or credit, and they could launch when they were good and ready. And Mr. King argues that they really aren't bad guys, and the remedy of injunction would be extremely harsh. I don't really know what else can make Aza whole, how else one recovers this lead time period, how else one sets a standard for conduct of exclusive distributors, and with prospects to the whole idea of whether there is a trade secret, it says in the agreement, we are going to keep our know-how confidential. We are going to make sure our employees don't destroy it or discuss it. You don't have to have a patent to have a trade secret. You don't even have to have something highly novel to have a trade secret. What you have to have is something you try to keep within the family. And what there was going on here throughout was an ongoing situation where when they came across a problem, they asked Aza's advice on it. And as they were setting up this competing line, they were able to take the benefits of our technological know-how, and I think that's worthy of this kind of harsh relief. Your position, as I understand it, is that an exclusive distributor cannot, during the term of his exclusive distributorship, make any plans or programs of finding another source of a product for similar use or plan to build it himself, but he must wait until he has terminated his contract, until he makes any such thoughts or agencies. The restatement of agency, and those are the qualifying words that were missing in the memorandum of Intraco, unless he notifies his principal that this is his intention. What about a principal who sees a deteriorating situation and starts looking for another exclusive distributor? I don't even know if statement of agency covers that. These are probably obligations to a certain extent, but the real obligation usually runs from the agent to the principal because it is the agent who is exercising this duty of trust. And it is considered the same with an employee and a master and servant. If the employee, while still in a job, just hunts for another job, that is okay. But if he plans, as in Dwayne Jones, to set up a completely different agency and makes his contracts and touches all his bases, he has an obligation to tell his employer. He has an obligation to tell his principal what he is doing. The Dwayne Jones didn't go on the prohibition of employer-employee. It went on the prohibition of fiduciary responsibility because they were directors and officers.
That was tough.